Hi, I'm Marina J, and I help you flourish after narcissistic abuse with my courses, my membership, my classes, details below. If you've had narcissistic abuse, it means that you're a real leader. How do I know that? Well, a real leader genuinely cares for the person in front of them. I know that you work very hard not to hurt people, so much so that you would actually often rather hurt yourself than hurt somebody else. You'd rather not have a boundary and not say no because you don't want to see people upset. You don't want anyone feeling like you used to feel. You genuinely care about people. You are loyal. You will have a talent. People that have had narcissistic abuse are born with a particular talent, a particular gift or gifts that are going to help this planet rise. And the reason why we have narcissistic abuse so early in our life, and this is my own personal belief, and from all the hundreds and thousands of people that I have coached in my 20-year career, most of which have had narcissistic abuse in some way, shape, or form, is that the dark was inserted into that light, which is you, early in your life to thwart you. The dark thwarting the light. And it was designed to stop you from being fully you. It was designed to start to siphon your energy away from creating and into defending yourself in order to survive. So it puts you in survival mode pretty early on. And the reason why is, if we think of the planet, this again is my belief, we've got a massive spiritual war that has been taking place for 10,000 years, where it's the dark against the light. And I call the dark the global narcs, right? It's my affectionate term for them. The global narcissists are at the top, and they run companies, organizations. They're the ones that say, we have power over you, and we're going to tell you what to do, how to live your life. And we've been brought up in these very narcissistic global structures. So even if you haven't had narc abuse, right, you've still lived, you've still grown up with a lot of these rules that are not serving you. They're serving the ruler. They're giving the ruler what the ruler needs and wants to stay in power. Popularity, money, power, control, to continue you feeding them. So it's like you look at a big company, right? Big company, they can lay people off before Christmas, right? They don't really care. The big bosses, they're going to make sure they get their cut. They're going to make sure that they get their huge bonus. Meanwhile, the workers are still being paid a certain amount per hour, and that hasn't gone up in line with what they're getting, right? They're getting a lot more than the workers who are actually doing a lot of the hard work. They're giving hours and hours and hours every day, pledging their life, pledging their energy to this company that's giving very little back. That's not giving them a lifestyle that's even a fraction of what the lifestyle is here. So we've grown up in this very uneven planet where the dark has benefited. The dark gets the support. You look at films that are out there, right? And the antagonist, okay, doesn't necessarily win, right? Because, you know, it's the way that films are set up. But, you know, we get to maybe feel sorry for the antagonist. The antagonist can be rude. And we go, oh, and we're kind of, there's a lot of indoctrination that's happened in films where that person could be narcissistic or they're on their way. And we've been taught that that's just how life is, and that's quite normal. And the narcissist also, you know, is allowed to have what they want and get their own way. And you see it, right, with, you know, lots of crime films and crime TV, and the interest is always on the protagonist, right? The one that's creating all of this drama, rather than actually the hero. It's the hero that needs the support. It's the hero that needs the attention. And we talk about the hero's journey a lot. And the hero's journey is definitely, right, highs and lows. And at the end, there's the mastering of all of it, and they figure things out. But in a lot of these films, yeah, there's a lot of people I know that have had narc abuse. We don't watch half the stuff anymore because we don't like that horrible behavior. It could even be a film that we're watching where it's like, oh, they didn't say thank you to the waiter, or they didn't say thank you to the person that handed them their phone. It's like, I don't want to see that. I want to see genuine good behavior. That's why you're a real leader. And if you were born on this planet, you've got things to do. And so the narcissist was inserted early in your life to derail you. And many, many people that have had narc abuse have a delayed career. They don't really hit their career until later on because they're having to deal with all of the fallout that's occurred. So this is when we really start to look at the narcissist and we say, well, if the narcissist is all about control, control isn't power. Control isn't power. If they're coming at you trying to control you, that's not a powerful person, right? It's not. What's control? Control is I'm going to control you and you're going to do what I say at the expense of you. That's not power. Power is I'm going to be in my power, and whatever I say or do is also empowering you. That's real power. That's why you're a leader, because you know how to empower others. You know how to see the best in others, how to see their highest potential, and how to really encourage others. So we've got the global narcs at the top, right? Still leading. Not all of them now, which is good. And we've got you, right? The real leaders on this planet, relatively speaking, at the bottom. And what we need are the real leaders like you at the top, leading, and the global narcs where they belong at the bottom, because they need to learn from us. And we need to be leading, and you need to be leading until everybody else is leading themselves. And I don't know how long that's going to take, right? That might take 100 years, it might take 50 years, I don't know. But what I do know is that there is a lot going on this planet right now, but the light is winning. And it wins because it understands the dark. It's had a lot of experience with the dark. And now it's like, okay, if I have been betrayed by the people that should have loved me the most, i.e., my wife, my husband, my friends, my family, anything else that we get now from the outside world, whether it's a company, whether it's a governing body, whoever it is, it's not going to feel like half the betrayal. It just isn't, because we already know what it feels like to be so burned and so hurt by people who should have loved us. When it comes from them, we're like, whatever, I'm good, which means we can step into our leadership energy and start to really do what we came here to do. So please believe in yourself. Please know that there's a lot of people out there still doing idol worship. There's a lot of people out there pledging their energy to celebrities, pledging their energy to their bosses who don't really care, all of that thing, all of that stuff. That's okay. They'll wake up at some point and realize that they're also just as amazing. We don't need to idol worship anymore. Now, this is actually about doing what you genuinely came here to do. And those audiences aren't necessarily for you, but your people will find you when you continue to put yourself out there in however it is that you're called. It could be a small way, it could be a big way, but make no mistake, the narcissist recognized your power before you did. And maybe the narcissist is still recognizing your power now. Is that possible? Are they still seeing how powerful you are? And if you're in an interaction with them, or you're worried about having an interaction with them, can you please remember that you are more powerful than them, because you're coming from love, you're coming from God. That's always more powerful than wanting to come from self-serving and control. So any fear that you have that they're more powerful than you, yes, maybe they've got more money than you. Yes, maybe they've got more external power than you. But again, You're the one with the true power. And this is where I'm going to ask you, can you take your power back and really focus on becoming a great manifestor this lifetime? So you don't live your life in defense, you now live your life in creation. Can you really see how amazing you are and really invest in you? Can you start to build your power? Can you start to build your acknowledgement of yourself and really value the words that you say, really value what you do, really value who you are, really value how amazing you've been, and really, really build yourself now? It's no longer about them, right? They've lost you, they've lucked out. That's okay, they've earned it. Now it's about you genuinely doing you. And if the dark needs the light, right, which they do, they're going to keep coming at you or going to keep trying with other people. We don't need the dark, right? We don't need the dark. We know how to turn the dark into the light, but we don't need the dark, right? So I've specialized in shadow work for 20 years. So I do think the dark is amazing for us, but we don't need them. We don't need them, right? What we need now is to pour our energy into us and to understand just how powerful we are. And when we do that, there's a safety that we really begin to feel and can really, really step into. So the dark was inserted to thwart you into your early life. Has the dark thwarted you? Delayed you, maybe. Derailed you for certain amounts of time, maybe. But have you ever noticed that you always bounce back? You always bounce back. You always grow because of it. You always use whatever is happening with them or because of them or in spite of them as your springboard into continuing to become the greatest expression of yourself. And can I just say, this planet salutes you. Thank you for all of the work that you do on yourself. Thank you for all of the care and the love and the joy that you give to yourself and to this planet. It does not go unnoticed, right? Angels are seeing you, they're celebrating you, God and the universe are celebrating you, the animals, all of the different deities, everybody, right? We thank you. So if you feel like you've gone rather unnoticed, start to notice yourself, start to value yourself, step into the power and know that the dark didn't thwart you and the dark's never going to thwart you because the dark is much weaker than the light. It recognized you. Now are you going to recognize you for the beautiful, incredible light that you actually are? I hope this really supports you. All my love.